the nation's largest LGBTQ civil rights organization. I'm incredibly excited because this Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, HRC and CNN will be hosting a town hall with 9 of the Democratic presidential candidates. This election's critical for the LGBTQ community. Our rights and our lives are at stake. And so this Thursday night at 7:30 p.m., we're going to hear from 9 of the Democratic presidential candidates about their vision for equality, about the need to pass the Equality Act and afford LGBTQ people clear protections from discrimination throughout daily life. We're going to hear from them about the urgent need to address the epidemic of violence targeting the transgender community, particularly Black transgender women. We are thrilled that It's Happening Out is helping us amplify this town hall, amplify the urgent issues that are facing the LGBTQ community. Our community is larger than the margin of victory in the last several presidential elections. We are going to make a real difference in this election, but we'll only do so if we turn out and vote. Our lives are on the line. Our rights are on the line. This election is the most critical election in our lifetimes. And so we need to make sure that we are informed, that we tune in this Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern to hear from our Democratic presidential candidates about the issues that impact us on a daily basis, and that come November 2020, we turn out.
This week on It's Happening Out. Joker, breaking records.
For my whole life,
National LGBTQ+ History Month. Channing Tatum, nude painting. '21st anniversary of Matthew Shepard passing. How far have we come?
Matthew Shepard was beaten last weekend, tied to a wood.
Supreme Court takes on LGBTQ+ discrimination. It's all happening out tonight. Join us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter with your host, lifestyle expert Napoleon Plays, trans activist Aaron Phoenix, reality TV star Chef Josie, DJ Diva Power Infinity, DC Log Cabin Republican Joe Brookman, and our moderator Al Ferguson. It all starts right now, live on It's Happening Out.
All right, everybody. Well, good evening, America, and welcome to It's Happening Out. What an amazing show we have for you tonight. So much breaking news and so many interesting things that we're going to tell you about celebrities, games, topics, and more.
And some politics.
And a little bit of politics,
a lot
too.
Today.
We remind you, thank you very much for joining us tonight. This is a live show. We are America's most popular live gay talk show. And when you're live, anything can happen. I can't stop what's getting ready to come out of Power Infinity's mouth. And conversely, I can't stop what is coming out of Joe Brookman's mouth. Welcome back, Joe Brookman.
Thank you.
President of the Log Cabin Republicans, we're so happy to have you back. This is going to be an exciting night as we're coming to you from the gayest place on planet Earth, Wilton Manors, Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and we're broadcasting to the nation and the world. Of course, our home this summer and now into October is Bubbles and Pearls. You can see it right over my shoulder here at Wilton Drive, the famous Wilton Drive, the gayest place on planet Earth, and my friend Chef Josie sitting right next to me, and her wife Marcy coming to you from one of our favorite restaurants here in South Florida, Bubbles and Pearls. There's lots of cheers here for you, Josie. There were more cheers for you than there were for me.
Well, it's because Chef Josie's hair looks so extra fabulous tonight.
Okay.
I'm waiting for the plug that Power Infinity did the hair or
I keep
something.
telling her I'm just living for her hair, her look. I don't know.
Listen, before we get started, let us thank our host, Best Western here in Oakland Park, Fort Lauderdale. Our hosts that travel in. Power is staying there. You enjoying your staying?
It's cunt.
Yeah, it's sorry, what?
I said what I said. It's
Right? Can we use that in the promo for it? Or?
They do a great job, and we thank them very much. Let's jump right into the show. In a few minutes, we're going to bring you a very special guest from Hialeah Pride, and we'll tell you about that in a moment. But before we start, let us make some noise. Next Wednesday here at Bubbles and Pearls, we'll be celebrating our 1-year anniversary of It's Happening Out.
That is incredible.
In combined total, watchers that have watched our shows and programs since we launched, are you ready for this?
Tallying.
15.5 million views since It's Happening Out has started the show. And next Wednesday, we're going to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. And what's a great way to celebrate our anniversary?
with power popping out of a cake.
Yes.
Well, we all know you have the experience.
Well, that too. But a great way to celebrate is to launch a new show. And next Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, we're going to launch our second show, and it's called Happening.Fun. So many of you have talked about we like the games, and we like the celebrity stuff, and we like the entertainment. And so our focus was in Happening.Fun. Let's find the fun things to do. And so next week, we're going to do a 30-minute show that is going to launch called Happening.Fun. And look at a little secret tease of how this new show is going to launch next week live at 7 p.m. Watch this. That's right. We're looking for things to fun. Things to fun. I'm going to be.
We know where all the fun is.
Exactly. It's going to start with Napoleon and I, but of course we're going to fold everybody in, and we're going to talk about all kinds of fun things to do. The show is totally about entertainment. So there's not going to be a Donald Trump for miles in Happening.Fun.
And that
Donald is
promise then I
entertaining.
want that little
Donald
clip right
is
there.
entertaining.
Donald is entertaining.
That is the first word out
That's
of
true.
your mouth today. Donald is entertaining. Let's get a first word
Yes.
recap of every episode you've been in and see how many
Actually,
it's
why don't
Donald
we
Trump.
try doing this? One of the shows of Happening.Fun, let's broadcast from Mar-a-Lago, which is only about 35 miles from here. Wouldn't that be great?
Well,
I would love it.
No.
Didn't one of his party or someone in his cabinet just get arrested from there at Mar-a-Lago? That sounds
all
fun to
right.
me.
We've already gotten far more
But I'm
serious
not
about
sure-
Happening.Fun.
I'm sure they would
Rules.
let you all in.
Yeah.
Right, no,
That went the
exactly.
wrong way.
All right, so exactly. So next Wednesday, 7 p.m. to the nation, Happening.Fun. We think you're really going to like it. We're going to talk about and show you many exciting things, very digitally enhanced of how should you plan to have fun, things to fun.
There's a lot to do
Now,
down here in South
It'll
Florida.
be fun.
It's going to be. All right. Let's move right into It's Happening Out tonight. It's going to be amazing. We have so many interesting things to do and tell you about. First off, you want to stay tuned, America. I'm getting ready to break some secret news about Mayor Pete. I'm not kidding.
Woo!
He's
Secret
gay.
news.
He's gay. Just-
That's not the
I'm sorry.
secret news, Joe.
Oh.
It's
That's what you
a
were doing up-
Republican talking point.
That was
not
that was
good.
what Joe Brookman was doing for the last 3 months.
Exactly.
It sounds like. I want to hear
the
that
secret
story.
operative in Washington. All right, let's move right into the show. First off, we always start our show at It's Happening Out with the meme of the week. We like to start our show this way. There's so many good memes, and the Trump memes, apparently, Joe, are piling up and piling up and piling up. We have about 300 of them ready. Here's tonight's meme of the week. Meme of the week is Barack Obama. Barack says, while you're at it, ask Ukraine if they can find my birth certificate.
And all I want to know is, can they find the 33,000 emails that Hillary deleted? Because,
Oh my God.
Welcome back, Joe. Welcome back.
CrowdStrike is in the Ukraine.
Excuse me.
That was
Here-
1/15 of my life ago.
Here-
Let it go.
I think I
Here
can
is
find
this-
those 33,000 emails before I can find his birth
Here
certificate.
is something that the Republicans hate. It turns their blood cold. Who's Hillary Clinton? Does anybody know? Who's Hillary Clinton? Let's move on to the best thing of the week. At It's Happening Out, we like to start the show by showing you something fun. Gay boys everywhere.
Oh, yes.
We're going to let the rest of America in on a secret. Gay boys don't shake hands. We graze the dick. Watch this.
Okay.
Dude, good speech, man. Good
what's
speech.
up, man?
Whoa, what was that?
That's just a little way I like to say hello. It's called the dick raise.
Dick raise. I never heard of it.
Oh, really? Let me explain it to you.
Everybody's asking about that new crack. See your friends hanging and you wanna wave. Give a pound or a shake, but that's played. So you get closer and you let that dick raise. It's a new handshake between gentlemen, but it's a boys club, no women friend. I get finished when I see my homie lean in. That's because my hands about to touch his penis.
Oh, hold up, Janko. You can't forget about us girls.
Oh, you want in on this?
Oh, hell yeah. So let me tell you how we say what's up with our lady bits. Everybody talking about that dick crack, but see my girls say hi in a different way. I see my girl poolside, lay face up. I can't wait to say hi from the waist up. I start feeding when I see my girl sleeping, cause my hand's about to have a booty meeting. So I'm walking by the chicken saying, hola. I'm just trying to get me some areola.
See your man at the bar, give him a dick raise.
See your girl eating chicken strips, give a tick raise.
See your boy working out his abs, give him a dick raise.
See this bitch playing ping pong, give a tick raise.
See a dude being a dick, give him a dick raise.
See this giant ass beer can, give a dick raise.
Chris and Phil behind the camera, double dick raise.
See a dude punching people's dicks, grab his nuts hard.
Yeah, what the
I'm so sorry.
A graze, not a grab.
Oh my God! Can you imagine a casting call where you're told Channing Tatum is going to grab your dick and you have to be on camera for it?
Does everybody
Free.
know that's Channing Tatum?
Yeah, that's what I was just going to ask.
Oh my God!
Now, my only question
Volunteer.
is, I love the dick raise, but how did the damn girls get into that?
Come
How?
on, we get into everything.
Yeah, true.
It all
Absolutely
started
true.
with us anyways, you
Yeah,
know what I
that's-
mean?
That's true. All right,
I
so
don't
it's
know,
the
the
best
only-
thing of the
the
week.
boob graze.
Watch
The only
It's Happening
dick
Out.
graze I've never
Every
had
week
was-
we try
was
to
women.
find, does gay culture exist? Does gay community exist? Well, apparently it does, because we secretly dick graze.
Now,
Did you know
Secretly,
that?
you go down to any bar that's
It's
down here. I
Happening
tell you,
Out-
it's not
It's
secret.
Happening Out will not be responsible for anybody that tries the dick craze
Yeah.
and ends up in jail.
Yeah,
We ain't
exactly.
paying nobody.
All right, exactly.
Me too.
All right. Yeah.
Irony.
Oh wait, I didn't think about that. Me too. Yeah.
I've sat next
All
to
right.
Joe for a year, and as I say again,
All right.
Aw, we're happy
Joe
you're
has
back.
been here 9 minutes, and you get a full assault on the Republicans joke in after 9 minutes.
You can
I'm
see how
between
much
you
we
two. It's a
missed you.
scary place to be, America.
No.
Very scary.
Wait, how did I get attacked? That's Joe Brookman, log cabin Republican. Go. No. All right.
It's like a
All right,
Rock'em
that's our
Sock'em
best
that's
thing of
about
the
to
week.
happen.
America will do that for you every single week. Somebody interesting has sat down at the table, and let me introduce you.
Thank you.
She was a special host. No, we're not talking about you, Joe. We're not. It's not all about you, Mr. Trump. Oh, I mean, Mr. Berkman. That is, of course, one of our favorites at It's Happening Out, DJ Citizen Jane. DJ
Yes.
Citizen
How are
Jane is here tonight, the co-founder of Hialeah Pride. And Hialeah Pride is going on this Sunday. It's Happening Out is really passionate about Hialeah Pride because, as we told you, America, Hialeah sits in this big blue island of South Florida. To every one of Joe, there's about 390,000 of us.
It's a scary image in itself.
Except in one community.
Yeah.
In Dade County, there's this community called Hialeah, and it's it's an island within the island. And Citizen Jane and her partner created a pride event last year for the first time in this red island ocean. And guess what? It was mammothly successful. Round 2 is this Sunday in Hialeah, and we again
Yeah.
welcome DJ Citizen Jane from Hialeah
Thank you for
Pride
having
with
me
us.
here. Thank you.
Jane, tell us a quick update. You're in the final stretches. This is Wednesday night. You must be petrified as crap that you're 5 days away.
I'm not petrified. I'm excited, but I'm beat.
Yeah, you're tired.
This is a monster to create, so.
Yeah.
But it's fun.
Jane, I have to ask you first, Citizen Jane, who thought up the idea to have Aqua Girl in South Florida one weekend and Hialeah Pride the next?
I have no idea. I have no comments. Because I work for Aqua Girl, so no comments.
Tell us about
We're
that.
overachievers, the
Over
lesbian
the
community,
girls.
okay?
By the way, Hialeah is not a lesbian pride. Everybody is welcome. Everybody.
It's
comes.
actually really
Everyone,
family
allies,
oriented.
everyone's
very
welcome.
Family, right?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about the highlights. What's going to be happening this Sunday at Hialeah Pride?
Well, I'm excited because we have Julio Iglesias Jr., which is
Yeah.
so
I'm
sexy.
sorry. Who? Who?
Julio Iglesias Jr.
Julio Iglesias.
Enrique's
Jr.
brother, Julio Senior's son.
Yeah.
You just got Joe so pumped and excited.
Yeah, he's
Trouble
hot.
saying
Even
the
I'll
name
jump on
out?
him. So
No, I can say his name.
After party
Everybody's
time.
always reading me. Julio Iglesias Jr.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Please do that in slow
Oh.
motion for like 55
Very
minutes.
good.
All right.
As
all
a
right.
promo.
He's going to do a concert?
yes, he'll be doing like about 35-minute concert.
Oh, excellent. What time is
wow.
that going to be?
He's the headliner, so we saved the best for last.
Okay. All right. Tell us, what time does Hialeah Pride start Sunday?
Hialeah Pride starts at 1 o'clock, and we'll be going on partying till 9 p.m. this year. We're taking it at nighttime.
9 p.m. All right.
Gotta get your cha-cha on.
Citizen Jane, let's focus about Hialeah Pride. To me, as I told you, we talked about this when you were a guest host on the show. One of the most interesting things is USA Today outlines the most conservative and most liberal cities in America. On the most conservative list, I was frankly shocked. Hialeah, Florida, in this sea of blue in South Florida, lists as the 4th most conservative city in America, only behind 3 Texas cities. And by the way, that's not a good list to be associated with. And Hialeah kind of stands out now of saying, wait, even though we have these conservative roots, we can celebrate Pride.
Do I need to move?
To take on that challenge, to decide we should have a civil rights pride in this conservative community, what was your justification in your head to go, we can take this on?
Well, it's a city that I grew up in most of my life, and when I came out of the closet, like I said before, I had nowhere to go, and I think that needs to stop. It's a new generation. Everybody was old school. We need to get up with the program, and I don't want it to be on the list of any conservative city. I don't want it to be on the list at all. Not number 20, not number 50. I just don't want it to be on the list anymore. That's my goal.
Right.
Well, I know.
Do you feel like things have changed since the time when you came out to today?
They are changing. As a matter of fact, after we did our Pride, the Hialeah Police Department now has the LGBT liaison that they
Awesome.
incorporated, and they're going to
big
be there
deal.
with their
That's a
uniforms
big
and the
deal.
rainbow on their uniforms. And Hialeah Hospital, which is one of the iconic hospitals from Hialeah since before I was born, it's now going to fly the flag the day of Hialeah Pride.
Really?
Yeah.
So that's huge.
That's
That is
awesome.
huge.
That's
You were telling me that there's also what is it? Some kind of protest on one of the days this week in October that's at that hospital as well. They're really getting
yes,
all on board.
Yes,
all
they are
around.
because they did fly it before at
Yeah.
one point, and half of their staff didn't come in.
You pull your sponsors into everything that's
Yes.
LGBTQ culture. I love it. It's fantastic.
So I'm super excited about that.
I'm curious in terms of Hialeah. A lot of people around America do not know. They don't know the difference in Miami Beach and Hialeah and Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
You sit in Dade County, Miami-Dade County. Hialeah in South Florida is very, very well known for having so many first-generation born Cubans.
Absolutely.
Exodus out of Cuba from the revolution, and Hialeah has a very dominant population. How does Hialeah Pride, now this is the second time, how is that affecting the Cuban American community in Hialeah?
I don't think it's affecting. I mean, we had so many allies that actually came out, and even from the older generations that were there and holding signs and saying they want equality for everyone. And so I felt great about that. I was like, we didn't have any protests, which we're super excited. Hopefully this year it's the same.
And I remember, don't you have Cuban roots?
I'm from, my whole family's Cuban. I was born here.
Yeah, you were born here. Your parents are Cuban.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Hialeah Pride going on. Anything else?
One of the
So,
things
I have a question. For throughout the day, DJs, drag queens.
We have DJs, so many drag queens. We brought almost all the major
they're like
drag
flies.
queens.
I know that.
As a DJ, I'm interested. Who is playing? Who's spinning?
Well, we have Adora playing in the VIP and DJ
Adora,
CJ.
Mr. Nilo.
We have Tiffany Fantasia is going to be our main host, hosting the main stage. Tilo Ivy. We have, like I said, Julio Iglesias Jr. We have Desmond Child. He's our godfather of our festival.
Yes.
So I mean, we have so many local talent because I love to expose local talent out there as well.
Heavy hitters. This year, Hialeah. Next year, y'all could do Liberty City.
Liberty City.
And I know
That'll be great.
a lot of prides are, of course, about the often male body or female body or just the human body. And a lot of times it can get overly sexual. But you guys are focusing really on the romance aspect this year.
Yes, we are. We're having a same-sex wedding, which is the first time any pride in Florida does that on the main stage and in the city, the fourth most conservative city, which is Hialeah. So pushing the
So
envelope.
you're going to actually perform a wedding at Hialeah Pride on your main stage.
Yes, we have a judge that's actually coming from Miami-Dade County that notified us that he wanted to do it.
Yeah.
People
what
jumping
time
for
is
it.
what time is the wedding planned?
We don't have a set time yet, but it will be announced tomorrow. I would say
okay.
about 6 p.m.
All right. So in South Florida, you've got to come. Hialeah, Florida, Hialeah Pride.
6 p.m. means 6 p.m. Okay.
Yeah,
In Hialeah, everything runs about 30 minutes behind, so you have to trick everybody. And so, what time is Hialeah Pride starting again?
1 o'clock.
Okay. got
So
That's a
you need
very
to be
good
there.
show.
You need to
Josie
be there
being
at
from
12.
Hialeah, too.
Citizen Jane, tell us if somebody wants more information about Hialeah, how do they find out more?
At www.hialeahpride.com. And we have our VIP, which is almost sold out, so jump on that.
Oh,
wonderful.
We so
Ready
that's
to
what's
jump on
happening
it.
this Sunday. America, I echoed the same observations when Citizen Jane was here. For those of you watching around the country that live in small or conservative communities, Hialeah and Citizen Jane is an example where you can make a commitment and change your community by celebrating your pride. You can get a police chief to follow you. You can get a rainbow-enhanced police car. You can get the mayor to talk about LGBT issues. All accomplished because DJ Citizen Jane and her partner made a decision that we're going to show pride in the fourth most conservative community in America. Congratulations, Jane,
Thank
and
you.
we wish you all the success this Sunday.
Thank you. Thank you for having us
All
here.
right.
Thank you.
See you
All
on the
right,
dance
let's
floor.
move from one celebration to the next celebration. Let's play a
Best thing of
game.
all.
And of course, we like to celebrate our games with alcohol. And we are going to play our game, I'd Swallow That. Our sponsor, Live Proud Vodka. Josie is the national brand ambassador for Live Proud, and we're going to play a game. For those in the restaurant, we encourage you. If those of you at home, have a beer, have water, have vodka, whatever you would like to participate. We're going to do 4 questions. If you agree, you take a shot. If you don't agree, you don't touch your shot. And we're going to find out where all of this goes.
Yeah.
Everybody ready to play
Yeah,
I'd
ready.
Swallow That? All right, here we go. Question number 1. I'd swallow that. I only have great sex. And by the way, that's because I always am in bed when the great sex is happening. I
Well,
only have
not really.
great sex.
I'm drinking.
Who's taking the shot?
I'm taking the shot.
Well, I am going to take the shot, but Al, if you're
Yeah.
taking the shot of only having great sex, then you've got to be a virgin because that can't be true. That cannot be true. I
There's
refuse
about
to
a
live in
half a
this
dozen
world.
people in this restaurant right now that would disagree with you.
Woo, okay.
It's ridiculous that all you guys took that shot.
Well, I just took the shot because I have great sex, but do I only have great sex? Only, I'm not gonna thread the line here, okay? I don't care. I have great sex, period. That's
Let me
it.
also be clear. Sex
I
is not.
eliminated only, okay? That's it.
Sex is not one person. Sex is between 2 or more people. It is a group. It is the energy between people. It is not this individual thing. If good sex is happening, it is not just because of one person.
Wait, can I
It's
share
chemistry.
something with you? DJ Citizen Jane from Hialeah Pride is right off on stage, right? And she's just going, oh, Napoleon, oh.
Who has only ever always had great sex. At some point, you've had shitty sex. Everybody knows that.
Oh, well, tell us about your sex life.
Well,
Here, let's do that.
I gotta tell you guys about my sex life. That'd be a whole nother show.
Happening.fun.
Right.
I'm just gonna say.
But
best
everybody's
sex
had
this
bad
summer
sex.
was
And
on
now,
the dot.
but I want to make sure that I'm clear because you're the only one that didn't take the shot.
course.
You said, "I can't believe y'all are taking the shot." You can't take the shot because the preponderance of your situation in 2019 is great
No,
sex?
it's not 2019. The question was, I only have great sex. Well, I have had bad sex. I have great sex
I'm curious.
most of the time, but I've had bad sex. So I can't
all
say
right.
I only have
So when
great
you've had
sex.
bad sex, is it your fault?
No, it's always somebody else's fault.
You know, we say this isn't. We say this isn't a show. Just what is it? Drama addicts, something. But we talk a lot about
drag queens.
I feel like
That's
all of
the
these
gay
swallowing
community talks
questions
about,
are
those
about
three things.
sex. You have a
Trust
lot of
me,
prying questions
I'm a hot
about us.
freak. If you're not having good sex with me, it's your fault. No, I'm
All right, that'll be the soundbite. We move on. Let's move on. I'd swallow that. Question number 2. Here we go. I'd swallow that. I correct family, friends, and strangers when they say ignorant things in my presence.
If there were a whole bottle that you could drink right now, you should take it. Let's be clear on that.
I'm going to take half a shot.
What?
I don't correct strangers. Their ignorance
said
is
what
none of
I
my business.
said.
Unless they're on my Facebook
Wait,
page.
have you ever heard of social media?
Un-
They
I-
are
excuse me,
strangers.
Unless they're on my page. That's the only time. But just,
You don't know the vast majority of people that are watching you on social media, and I have watched you absolutely obliterate them.
well, when strangers come
Take
to
the
my
other half
page-
of that shot. Oh, I'm going to catch up. No, don't do that, because I'm going to catch you in question number 4.
But those people are my Facebook friends, so they're friends, aren't they?
No, they're not.
Isn't that
That's
what
like
they
By
do?
the way,
101,
let me
don't
call
know
somebody
everybody.
out. I went over to Andrew Brett's house today. You came up in conversation.
Of course I did.
Okay. All right. Anyway, anything
And that
else?
just killed it
Hi,
right there.
Andrew.
Don't
Pick on my mom.
Right. You don't correct.
I
family,
feel like
friends,
if
and strangers.
Here's the thing: it's difficult to tell if people are ignorant or stupid, and it's just a waste of time if they're stupid to try to correct them. So there's no point in from my perspective. Silence, and I don't need to correct you. So there we go. Good job.
I just call bullshit.
Yeah,
That's all I
right.
do. Just call
right.
bullshit.
By the way, we're so happy that Joe Brookman's back. All week long in production, we've talked about Joe. Oh, he's coming back, and we're going to get to hear bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Love that. Love that.
Like a
All right.
character meme.
Question
right there.
number 3. I'd swallow that. Question 3. People give me show ideas for topics because they know I'm on It's Happening Out.
Oh, yes. All the time.
And we appreciate it, guys. It's awesome. That was really messy.
If another person tells me you should talk about Donald Trump,
For my whole body.
I get that all the
I
time.
thank all my friends that contribute to LCR for Trump with
The
their
mic?
ideas
Can you get it up, man?
and
There you go.
Get it up? Okay.
Yeah. You need a hand. There you
Joe,
go.
it's been a little while. Do you
It
know
bends,
how to do a
baby. It
television
bends.
show? Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. What do people say to you about topic suggestions? You fish for them in social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everything from celebrities to, the state of politics. Of course, they want to talk about religion. They want to talk about HIV. They ask me all the time and suggest topics all the time.
By the way, I don't know if you know this, or any of you know this. There's this kind of trending thing that is happening in our conversation about you and Aaron sometimes, and Andrew, of our joke about, oh, you're in Facebook jail again. I don't know if y'all realize it, but that phrase is catching on. Facebook jail is a phrase that is being said over and over again. And I've kind of heard in a secondary way, Facebook doesn't like that reference of Facebook jail.
Hashtag Facebook jail.
Yes. they're trying to manage social media, but it's kind of really tough because, when we're in a free speech environment, we say anything.
Or at least for now.
Are you still, speaking of that, are you
Well, we
still
still
in jail?
have, in
On my
theory.
Power Infinity page, yeah.
Power is in jail.
Power is
And all of the, well, we'll just stop there. We'll just stop there.
Come on, stop blowing up his
All
spot,
right,
dude.
let's move on to question number 4.
He's blowing up your spot.
And this is where we're going to see if Power's going to do a shot and a half. Question number 4, I'd swallow that. I've lied while playing I'd swallow that. Oh my goodness, you're watching lying right in front of your very eyes. None
I see a
of
face
you?
being made. What's
No?
going on, Power Infinity?
No.
Break, laugh.
No.
Break.
Okay.
Wait. Here's Scooby-Doo.
Okay, well, not taking that shot was a lie in and of itself.
Right.
Speaking of memes,
Hell
somebody make a meme
yeah.
of that Scooby-Doo owl.
Hell yeah, I've lied while. I mean, the entire year, have I lied once while playing I'll Swallow That? Yeah. More than once? Yeah, of course I've lied.
I've only been playing for a short time, and I don't lie.
You never lied.
No, I don't
And I
have to.
swallow.
I don't care.
You've
I'm
never
an
lied
open
in your
book.
life?
Well, in my life,
On I'd swallow
No,
that.
on
not
I
the
swallow
question.
that. Okay. You haven't lied?
I probably have, but I'm a good liar. I don't remember it if I have. I lied to myself too. I'm just that skilled at it.
All right. And how about you, Joe? Did you take the shot?
Let's see. Not that I recall.
No.
No collusion, no obstruction.
And everybody's answer here now deserves a shot to be taken.
I'll
drink
swallow
that one.
Cheers, everybody.
And America,
This
I
is
can't
living
tell you.
proud.
Right, to live proud. I can't tell you how excited we are to have Rudy Giuliani back at the table, and it's happening out.
Not that I recall.
No, I don't
Your
defend.
smile doesn't
I don't
terrify
defend
me.
Joe very much, but I gotta tell, he looks way better than Rudy Giuliani.
Also with that, with
Don't
the
try it
beard,
like that.
you've gotten some comments, some
Listen,
sexy daddy comments with that beard.
Rudy Giuliani kind of looks like the Penguin
Yeah.
out of the Batman series.
No,
I don't know.
he looks like Nosferatu.
Oh, well, there you go.
Wait, I don't know how we got to this.
I don't know either, but let's live there for a little longer, please.
I do want to say something about Live Proud and the sponsor. One of the reasons I love Live Proud, and I constantly echo this, Josie helped me in terms of understanding what they do. Every bottle that you buy of Live Proud vodka, they donate at least $1 of the proceeds of that purchase of the bottle to socially conscious organizations all over America. Congratulations, Live Proud. That
That's
is
what's
a
up.
direct commitment.
Well, you
And
know,
I have
it's
to
also-
I have to tell you, I am a vodka prude.
Yeah.
And I like
It's
this.
good, isn't it?
I like
Yeah,
this.
me
Well,
too.
it's received a few awards.
Yeah.
Like Nobel Peace Prize awards. It's called a SIP Award, a Platinum Award.
Yeah.
So it's actually up there, and people don't understand it because they don't see it on all their liquor
see it on
store
the top.
shelves.
But
or
apparently,
their
more
bar.
important than that, it brings the parties together. It is a bipartisan product. That should be like
Yeah.
number one
Right,
thing for it.
and it is smooth and gluten free.
No, but guys, really, the Live Proud thing, and because you always bring it up, but besides that, it's also an invitation for us. You think it's an LGBT an LGBT product, right?
Brand.
And yes, it's owned by lesbians. However, this is about inclusion, okay? Living Proud is about all of us, the way we live our lives. It's about stepping into who we are and being fierce and being bold. And when we are bold, we are courageous. And it's going to take courage to be LGBT, correct?
That's true.
And so all of us, it's simply just an invitation to live proud, be who
Living
you are.
And living proud is beyond LGBT.
Yeah, I
mean,
would
this is
applaud to that.
message.
The restaurant's applauding to that, and I appreciate it. That's true.
Yeah, and you were talking about inclusion with that.
Gonna
And
move
yeah,
on.
well, that's what I was saying. With this next topic, it's very inclusive. If it's got the nice visual that I'm waiting for to come.
That is our game. I'd swallow that. We play it every week. We hope you'll play with us. We're going to move into celebrity hot topics, and some interesting things happened this week in celebrity. First off, there was a gay kiss in the new Bond film, but not in the Bond film. Oscar winner Rami Malek and Daniel Craig talked about it in the new Bond movie, No Time to Die. We're showing you this picture. On The Late Show this week, Rami talked about what happened, and I'm going to read you a few of the words. Unfortunately, we can't show you even a second of this because of a copyright
Because
issue.
it's too hot to
It's
see.
too hot. He plays the new villain in the James Bond film No Time to Die. Stephen Colbert asked the question, what's it like doing scenes with Daniel Craig? Malick responded with this complicated conversation that they were not connecting correctly, and they worked for several hours with the director, just the three of them. And then they had a breakthrough between Craig and Malick. And then Malick said to Stephen Colbert, and I'm reading word for word, and then he grabbed me and picked me up, and I can't tell who initiated the next moment, if it was him or I, but a kiss transpired between the two of us. I'm going to say that Daniel initiated it, and I was taken aback. Stephen Colbert said, was it welcomed? And Malick said, oh yes, very much. And I took a moment, caught my breath, looked out and said, so does this make me the new Bond girl?
Oh my God.
I wish we could show you that moment. It's big, interesting news in this. What do y'all think about what happened?
I did not need to see that. Even with you reading it, that like little erotic novel we just had, this should be a regular section where we just take fan fiction and other things that are actually happening and just read it to our people listening on podcasts
Reading
and other
with
stuff
Al.
in the future. Like, oh my God.
I would slit Rami's throat for an opportunity to take his place.
Make out Daniel Craig?
I have lived and loved Daniel Craig for so long.
I love all the Bonds anyway.
But
he is a sexy Bond.
Yes, he is lucky, however, that this didn't turn into another story of sexual harassment.
Yes.
You know, these days you kiss a bitch and it's over.
Yeah, your career is
Out of
over.
here, Daniel Craig.
All right, let's move on.
He has privileges.
Other celebrity hot topics. Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye for the Straight Guy made news. Of course, as you've probably heard, he has a new book called Over the Top. It debuted this weekend.
I didn't connect that before, I'm sorry.
Over the Top, right?
It's his breakup album.
He announced in the book, nobody knew, he announced in the book that he was HIV positive. He's been HIV positive for quite a long time, but people did not know he held the secret so closely. Let us show you what he said about that moment. Watch this.
I'm talking about a lot of things in this book that have, really been on my mind, and have been a lot of experiences that I've carried with myself that I wasn't sure how publicly I wanted to share these things, and because there's certain things that I'm sharing that once you share it, you can't take it back. And in light of the current situation that our country is in, and my LGBTQ community is in, and our HIV positive community is in.
But you come out with so much. You talk about drug addiction, sexual abuse, being HIV positive. Each one of these things is something to unpack. Why did you feel the need to come out with it right now?
This has been things that I've been navigating and sitting with and kind of working through for years. And the climate of this country and where we are right now, it's creating a climate where HIV can thrive, sexual abuse can thrive, and we have to speak about all of these issues, because it's really the shame and the stigma and the silence around these issues that is perpetuating them. And so that's why.
But we want to thank you so much. Did you guys love that? Over the Top.
Wow, a great moment for Jonathan Van Ness. Before we get into any conversation about this, it got us thinking about the status of HIV and publicly coming out, and the conversation about, is there still taboo about HIV status and coming out? And then the province of British Columbia brought us to a breathtaking stop on some of the public service announcements that they're running in Vancouver and other BC cities. Watch what they're telling their public. Watch.
Hey, Steve.
Oh, hey, queer. I better not. I don't want you to kill me. And I got this cold.
Oh, it's too bad.
Yeah, but at least I'm not gonna die because I'm a careless fairy. So, how you been?
Pretty good. Work's busy, though.
Wow. You think they'd have a law against you spreading it there? Well, I should get going.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, you brought this on yourself.
Hi, Mom.
Oh, hi, you cheap tramp.
You're up early.
Couldn't sleep. I was up all night wondering how we raised a filthy drug addict like you.
Are you going out?
I'm not. This is my house. But I think we're going to kick you out.
Okay. I think I'll go get changed.
All right. Well, honestly, it was breathtaking to us to watch this because they were so brave to tell the reverse story in drama and in dramatic fashion.
It's a good way of communicating that message.
It gets us thinking about Jonathan Van Ness keeping his status secret for so long and then writing the book to reveal it because he was so anxious about doing it. What BC, British Columbia, is showing us in terms of how HIV positive status can still be shamed in America and I guess in many, many places in Canada. It got us talking about this. What do y'all think about this subject? What's the issue with HIV and the reluctance to come out on your status? What's going on?
I think that commercial was spot on when he said, I don't want to touch a careless fairy, right? Because that is the stigma. And yes, it takes two to tango. And in most cases, it takes somebody not being truthful as part of the sexual partner. So it still has a stigma. Yes, I did reveal my status here, and that was 10 years in the making. So he was 8 years, mine was 10.
I want to reiterate the observation you just made because I'm trying to remember the exact details. It took you 10 years to be able to formulate coming out on your status.
Publicly here, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Now, and that was my next question. I have not done it in I want to ask people if you've done it on Grindr, if you've done it on Scruff, if you've done it on Daddy Hunt, where you've got your profile and you say on your profile that I'm HIV positive or that I'm HIV positive in
they do allow that.
Do allow that,
those
yeah.
apps for whatever comes of it.
Because in those apps where you're meeting people is where I started having conversations, but after I became positive, and it was because somebody wasn't truthful with me, I decided in that conversation I was going to be truthful up front in
any other relationship you have.
In the other relationship,
yeah.
To be damned if somebody doesn't want to get together with me, that's their choice. But I need to inform them.
I want to ask the broad question. Why are we still worrying about HIV status in 2019? There are condoms. There are good drugs. There is the openness of HIV. What is the stigma that continues to hold those people that are HIV positive down and those that are HIV negative that they might discriminate based on sexual orientation, drug use, whatever it is? Why are we doing this?
Why is because of ignorance.
Yeah.
There's really, when you get to the heart of the matter, it's because of ignorance.
But let's take it beyond ignorance, because ignorance is one piece of it. But then there is education. And for those people who are not necessarily in the high-risk groups of people, let's be honest about this, right? In the high-risk groups of people, that's not even in their wheelhouse. They don't even, it's not in their day-to-day. They don't even think about HIV. And in our wheelhouse, because we're gay, we're living LGBTQAI lives, and we're open sexually, and we are willing and open to have experiences, I think what happens is education and awareness is very big. When we take a look at HIV and AIDS, we remember that time when HIV and AIDS and we brought it up on the show.
It was deadly.
It was deadly.
I want to challenge that. No. I hear what you're saying, but unfortunately, in our own community, where we are supposed to be educated and enlightened, because it really has affected our community, there's still a lot of ignorance among a lot of the younger generation that propel the unhealthy stigmas. Whenever you hear somebody say, "Oh, I'm clean," or "Are they not clean?" that propels that stigma.
That's true.
And
That's
you
a
hear it a
negative
lot
word
with a
to
lot
say
of the
it.
young people in our own community. So education needs to start in and among us first and foremost, before we can even hope to educate a broader world,
That's-
because there's a lot of ignorance right here among us.
Last
Okay, I
comment,
hear
I'm going to
that.
move on.
That is really true, but as many people as there might be that are like you, Joe, that want to be honest and upfront with it, there are also a lot of people that give me fear about things like PrEP, which I have discussed I won't take because of the repercussions of it medically, or condoms, which can break or have other issues with it. There are still things that cause fear, and sometimes that's from things like people that have HIV or are positive that have told me.
Wait, and to the observation, I feel an obligation to immediately challenge your observation.
Okay.
And the reason I feel a need to immediately challenge your observation is my voice is not going to be talking to Joe, and my voice is not going to be talking to Power, or Chef Josie for that matter. My voice is talking to you and a 25-year-old and a 17-year-old. You must use condoms, and you cannot worry about them breaking to justify in any way whether you use condoms. You must consider PrEP. The secondary studies of some of the ramifications are far less important than the overall needs that PrEP and other related drugs do. It must be a commitment to the ignorance observation that you make that there are safer sex options that must be completely embraced. And if we do not say them over and over and over again, 17-year-old Johnny is going to be seriously at risk.
That's definitely true, but you have to present the facts accurately, which is why I'm stating that fact correctly. I'm also not dropping this topic because what you cut me off from saying was that not everyone is as positive-minded as you about being a good person. There are a lot of people that are either vicious or that are aggressive or have regrets about the fact that they're positive and are in the community to pass it on, to do things that cause that. And there are many examples, either from my own experiences or from other people that have that same story. And I don't want this to become that conversation, but you have to be careful, whether you're younger or older or at any age.
Can I just make one more
One
point?
more, and then we got to move on.
And the point is, what he was talking about, there are positive pause parties that go on now where people get together and have sex to seek to become positive. And what is not shared is that, yes, there are drugs to handle this, but in all likelihood for myself, I will still die of complication of HIV positive AIDS, and it will bring my life to an end earlier. Yes, I can prolong my life, but the complications of other diseases like cancer and other things, they impact whether or not you can take those drugs and whether those drugs accelerate those diseases.
Bullseye. It is a bullseye. A
So,
bullseye.
anyway,
Anything else that we
just-
want
no,
to add? One closing note that I want to make. We're just talking about Jonathan Van Ness's observation of having this book and coming out on his HIV status by revealing it in the book. The mere fact that this entire conversation in Celebrity Hot Topics moved to this is an indication in the gay community, oh my goodness, we've got to talk about HIV over and over and over.
we do.
And
Yes, we
over.
do.
We have a big obligation.
Great, and I look forward to the next time that we talk about it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Other news in Celebrity Hot Topics: the movie launched this weekend called The Joker. In the Batman realm, it broke all records for an October opening, 93.5 million, the largest October opening in history. Even with all of the potential violence and cancellation and boycott conversations that you had, we wanted to show you an example of some of the conversation about the Joker and the fears about a movie like this. Now, this comes from the Christian Broadcasting Network. I give that heads up, but watch this.
So what we're seeing is sort of a movement that's developing with mostly white, younger men who have sort of descended into a dark place on the internet, sort of an echo chamber, if you will, where what's reverberating in those places is an ideology called incels or incelibates. They're involuntarily celibate men.
The FBI has identified at least 4 major attacks and 45 deaths attributed to the incel movement. And now they're worried about a movie coming out, The Joker, that portrays one of these type of people.
Are you having any negative thoughts? All I have are negative thoughts.
The threat centered around the release of this movie is serious enough that the U.S. military recently cautioned its troops on going to see it.
Some of the incel community have started looking at as sort of a rally cry because they look at the Joker as a sympathetic symbol in their community.
Well, big news. Even with concerns about the violence in the Joker, all-time record for October.
And now
this issue about incel, about white celibate men, and their proclivity to violence, and the relationship of the Joker. That the Joker is a representation of this segment of our
This is kind
society.
of a joke that we're even like bringing it to. Guys, we are a society that has created our results, okay? This is what it is. I'm glad that the Christian community is starting to take notice of the white celibate men in the world who might be prone to violence,
You mean
okay?
priests?
Well, good for you, okay? Go do something about it. The LGBT community is standing up for LGBT rights, and we're actually focused on making sure that our lives are protected and that we can be living, thriving lives.
And what
I really feel for the white young men who are celibate out there in the world, turning to violence to get off. Good for fucking you, okay? Don't come down my block. Don't come to my restaurant. Don't come around here, okay? Because this is one tree you don't want to bark up.
You know, what I really heard from that is that having sex and sexual expression is the way to stop violence and world peace, essentially. So
Go help 'em out.
Let's just have the orgy and put down the gun. I guess the hippies were right. I clearly am a product of
Other related movie and film and television news.
I'll go see the movie.
We just want to add, DC's Birds of Prey is getting ready. DC's next blockbuster. It's going to star Ewan McGregor and featuring Harley Quinn character. Any quick thoughts?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Resident nerd, I have to comment. And Margot Robbie is returning to play Harley Quinn. It doesn't matter what you sexually identify as. You could be asexual. You will be a little bit aroused, probably, by her portrayal. Her body is nimble and she's great. But the reason that this is involved in the LGBTQ community is because they have cherry-picked like 11 characters to be every single one of those letters. They have the gay veiled villains. They have the one lesbian cop. They have one of everything. So it'll be interesting to see how that turned out. Probably not. I mean, tokenism is generally not a positive thing, but let's see how it plays out in it.
I just liked her in Suicide Squad, and I'm going to go see the movie.
I did like her in Suicide Squad.
I just like
too.
Ewan McGregor.
Yeah. Last thing that we want to mention related to television and film is Joe Brookman's favorite broadcaster in the world. Favorite. Rachel Maddow is going to be the voice in Gotham and CW's Batwoman.
Work it out.
And she is a radio host in the new Batwoman. We've talked about that show in terms of its lesbian ties.
Yeah.
What do y'all think about Rachel Maddow moving to the small screen?
You just ruined Gotham for me. I love Gotham, and you just ruined it for me.
Well, it's until the
Don't
crossover
believe
this
it,
year
America.
that's not a part of
Joe
the same.
loves Rachel Maddow every night, 9 p.m. MSNBC. Don't call him. He has told me so many times at 9:07, Al, don't talk to me. I'm watching Rachel Maddow.
Listen, Rachel Maddow is a contribution to any conversation she's in.
Exactly.
I am excited to see
She is,
her.
and Batwoman
on the
is a
show.
really prominent lesbian character, and so I
Okay.
really think that this show is going to be the staple, just like Supergirl is
Right.
to
Let me-
female
let
empowerment.
me-
This is going to be LGBTQ empowerment.
Let me give Joe the final word on Rachel Maddow.
Bullshit.
Okay. All right. Final topic in celebrity hot topics. Channing Tatum. We showed you
Yes.
Dick Gray's. Well, a painter painted Channing Tatum and included the exposure of his ball sack. And the painting sold for $6,600. $6,600. We're showing you a bit of it.
Not the best bit.
We
Well,
covered
useless
some
bit.
things with the E and the B. Any thoughts here of
So many questions.
what kind of nerd do you have to be to pay $6,600?
Okay, so evidently you've not gone shopping for original art.
Oh, it's a GoFundMe from the Museum of Eroticism.
No,
Or erotic
no,
art in New York.
That's not a difficult price to pay
Sure.
I'm
for a
suddenly
work of
very
art of that
interested
size
in
and
seeing
of that
your
individual.
house.
So you
I'm
you
actually
loved
surprised.
it. Do you
would-
love
What is
this
the
painting?
size?
Oh, I do. I'm
do.
surprised they didn't go for more.
Yeah.
I would expect 10 to 12,000 at least.
Oh, okay. All right. Very good. Let's move into a new segment. We tell you every week trending news, and that is happening now. We want to tell you two really big things that is happening and trending as we speak. First, Yesterday, the Supreme Court heard the landmark LGBTQ plus discrimination cases. Now, we do not expect for months and months and months the Supreme Court to announce their decisions, but we can tell you from the notes yesterday of the cases before the Supreme Court, gay America holds its breath. Likely the most important cases ever to be argued in front of the Supreme Court, with the possible exception of marriage. This is it. We're showing you this. Look at this little report that summarizes this video that we've prepared to tell you about what happened yesterday. Breaking now.
Good morning, Michael. This is a huge day here. The court will be taking up 3 cases and focusing on a crucial question for the country. To get a horn there, does the great Civil Rights Act of 1964, which among many other things prohibits discrimination, quote, because of sex, protect gay and transgendered Americans? There's a skydiving instructor from New York, a state employee from Georgia. They say they were fired because they were gay. And a funeral director from Michigan says she was fired after she transitioned. They say this law should protect them. And their employers say Congress did not intend this law to mean that. All eyes are going to be on Justice Brett Kavanaugh. He replaced Justice Anthony Kennedy, who was a staunch champion of LGBT rights. Kavanaugh expected to shift the court to the right. And we'll be looking to see if Justice Clarence Thomas is up there. He missed opening day, a rare absence. Court said he was ill and indisposed. He still gets a vote on these cases. Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who was treated for cancer this summer, well, she reported for duty as usual. But the stakes are so high here, Michael, no question about it.
Every aspect of our constitutionally protected society, but rather to affirm their uniqueness and see them as bound, and that's what protecting faith and freedom is all about. Give me one last amen.
Now, America took place right outside the Supreme Court while the court cases were being heard. There was a gigantic protest in front of the Supreme Court from the gay and gay rights community about equality issues. It's a big deal. One of the issues that's important is when you think elections do not matter, likely the smart money that watches the courts say that the decision is going to be split and that Justice Kavanaugh is going to be the deciding vote. So, what do y'all think about what happened yesterday at the Supreme Court?
I would expect John Roberts to be the deciding vote.
Do you think in favor of LGBT rights or against?
I actually don't know where Roberts will vote, but I would expect Roberts to be the deciding vote, not Kavanaugh.
Many people say if Roberts is the majority vote, likely they're going to sustain LGBT rights.
What is the precedent for that? What has led to that? For that being the conclusion?
Roberts has been on the borderline of the trickle over into the liberal.
I think there are 3 major issues that they're going to discuss as they consider LGBTQ rights. One is are the rights or the individuals well defined? Can they be easily recognizable? And third, is it measurable or testable? Because when you look at the existing civil rights movement, race, religion, sex, those are the 3 big ones.
National origin.
National origin. Well, I consider that race, but yes, national origin. Those are all recognizable, testable, and well defined. When you get to LGBTQ plus rights, it's amorphic. There's fluidity in this. It's not easily testable. It's not easily recognizable unless you're flaming, right? And then we all know people can flame and claim one thing and be another.
I disagree with that. I think in some ways, yes, there is some difficulty in saying that sexuality is immutable, which are what those things that you were saying before are. That other things that are in the human rights, that are held up by human rights are immutable frequently. But the other standard of human rights is it just hatred to be doing this towards somebody? It doesn't matter if they were born this way or not. Is it seen as being hateful to act this way? And if they weren't, in this case, gay or part of the LGBTQ community, would it be hateful?
Well,
if I can ask a really refined question to that observation. Joe, I want to ask you, and I was thinking about this. If you recall, one of the conversations we had, you made the point that the 1964 Civil Rights Act has protective rights for the gay community. I don't know if you recall that conversation.
And I do believe that.
And much of what has led up to the brief yesterday before the court is that point, that the 64 Civil Rights Act protects or overprotects, and one of the White House arguments is that that the 64 Civil Rights Act never intended to go this far. So now, from the observations you made when we talked about 64 to what happened with the Supreme Court yesterday, where are you now in terms of what kind of protection you think the gay community has, regardless of how the Supreme Court rules?
I think there's still protection under the existing Civil Rights Act. A lot of the nuances there are in some ways local, or they're nebulous in many cases. But I believe that you can still prosecute or relate LGBTQ rights under the existing civil rights law. And I believe there are plenty of nonprofits out there with specific focuses on transgender rights and bisexual rights and gay rights that argue those cases on a regular basis. But I think if they argue it within the confines of the existing civil rights law, I think they will win. It's when they start to try and make something amorphic,
they overreach.
They overreach.
Power, you were going to say?
Yes, although half of all LGBT people in this country are protected from employment discrimination, at the state level, there is no such federal protection that exists at the federal level. Now, Title VII of the 1964 Act does prohibit discrimination. It's been understood that one of the things, which is color, religion, sex, national origin, but it's been understood that sex includes sexual orientation. But that's never been something that has been tested. Now the Supreme Court is actually testing that. If in fact they decide that it is not something that is protected, then that is all the more reason why we need the Equality Act, because the Equality Act is something that will offer protection on a federal level. And of course, if, like Joe said, it is understood that sex includes sexual orientation, then great, because now there will be recourse. And the Supreme Court would have decided that. So let's just hope, Joe, that what you believe is actually true.
Yeah. Exactly.
The Trump administration is on the other side.
Yes.
They are fighting on the
don't
part
care.
of the employer. They are actually fighting against our LGBT rights.
And let me just say, as an employer, okay, it is absolutely against the law for me to discriminate against any of my employees for anything, okay? When this is such a monumental case right now, because what we're not understanding is that this doesn't just, it's not just about this one specific case. What it does is it opens up, it opens up opportunity, and it opens up, a
slippery slope.
Yeah, I like a response. I like to say response. And the reason why I say that is because as a gay community, let's say it doesn't fall in our favor. What that is an invitation or a call to the LGBT community to start opening up companies that only, hire LGBT. Hold on, just follow me for 1 minute. But what then it also does is opens up the possibility for businesses then to discriminate against gay businesses to whether or not we do business with you.
Hence the K clause.
So
exactly the same.
So let's talk briefly about.
It's going to be the last thought because I have to move on.
Okay, National Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce. So as an example, I am a certified gay business. Okay, and 95% of my employees are gay. And I hire predominantly gay, but that's because the network that I live in is predominantly gay techies. But everybody is welcome and everybody is employable. We had a very devout Sikh in our company as well. But everybody got along and everybody.
So there's a lot of gays. There's a lot of gays.
Wait, I don't understand your point yet.
My point, she talked about people predominantly hiring gay companies. There are companies out there today that are gay companies, predominantly gay companies.
Yeah, but
they don't just do business. The whole purpose of NGLCC.
I apologize. I have to bring this segment to a close, but I want to point out to Josie's point. There's irony. We're in Florida. We're in South Florida, the gayest place on planet Earth. Josie and Marcy, Chef Josie and Marcy own Bubbles and Pearls. They hire lesbian and gay men and women working in this restaurant. I could be a gay employer as a male in Chef Josie's restaurant, and Josie could say, I am firing you because you're a gay man, and that is completely legal in the state of Florida.
That's right.
Completely.
That's right.
This hearing
Yes, it is.
in front of the Supreme Court is to finally make that definition, which is what you said. I need to move on, but I do want to ask you one question. Please follow my question request. Yes or no? That's all. Yes or no? Is the gay community going to win these, because there are 3, Supreme Court cases? Is the gay community going to win? Yes or no?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't know.
Yes or no?
No.
Yes or no?
No.
Yes or no?
Yes, to a degree.
Huh?
And no. Interesting to me
There will be.
that the Republican at the table says there's a chance. Everyone else at the table says no. We're going to watch this so closely. Gay
gonna live it.
America, what happened yesterday is so big for you, it makes me wonder why you do not understand how big yesterday was. Let's move on. Happening now. Second note of breaking trending news. Tomorrow will be the HRC and CNN's Power of Our Pride presidential candidates town hall. Mayor Pete is going to be very big in it. We showed you at the top of the show how we're going to be involved in it. I want to hold it up right now. And Mayor Pete has already done a summary that he's going to talk about tomorrow and at the National Forum called Mayor Pete's, and he has his name in it, but I always say Mayor Pete for everyone in America's benefit, including mine, by the way, announces comprehensive plan to secure a new era of equality for LGBTQ plus Americans.
Codename the Gay Agenda.
I will tell you, in this position statement that will be announced tomorrow, but I have it in front of you right now. You're seeing it, and it's happening out in front of before the entire nation. This is landmark words and philosophies in a commitment of a presidential candidate to the LGBTQ plus community. We're going to get into this in great detail tomorrow. At 7 o'clock, we are going to broadcast along with CNN. We will be the digital stream for this national town hall, and we're going to get into this in detail. We have it already, but we've made a commitment to digest and summarize, which is what we're working on right now. In this news, what do y'all think about what Mayor Pete is getting ready to announce in the community? Quick thoughts.
Well, you know, I've always been a fan of Mayor Pete, and there's always been a lot of resistance to his progress because of him being gay, and we believe that he can't win. But he's raising a lot of money, and a lot of people are listening to what he's saying. And quite frankly, you know, I'm a big Mayor Pete fan until the end, so we'll see.
Well, the question was, what do we think about that? Well, let's wait till we get into it, and then I can tell you.
Yeah. Okay. Any other thoughts before we move on?
If it reflects the Equality Act that came from
Equality Act is called for
from the Congress, which was only a Democratic effort, and it's extremely flawed, then he will get nowhere with it. He will turn off
the news
an entire
tomorrow.
Part of the population.
Okay. The news tomorrow will not be whether this passes or not.
No.
The news tomorrow will not be whether Mayor Pete is elected President of the United States. The news tomorrow will be that the first gay candidate for President of the United States proves to the gay community, I am leading a new era in my philosophy on LGBTQ plus rights. That's what the news will be tomorrow. Do you all agree with that or disagree with that?
No, yes. I mean, I agree with it. I think it's a a bold step, and I think it's one that's needed.
I think it's a lot of pressure to put on him as well. We have to remember that he's a person, and he's going. Whether or not you consider this to be the mistake or not, there is going to be that
Look,
mistake. So let's not be too careful.
If you're going to
Or let's
run
be
for
too careful.
president of the United States, dude, you get the pressure, and we put it on you, and it's happening out.
Rock
and
on.
I personally applaud this.
bold.
That's why I hold it
Be
up
bold.
because we're going to talk about it.
Be
And
bold.
we're going to talk about it in detail. Then be bold. Let's move into headlines. Multiple headlines this week. First, the second whistleblower comes out, and he has direct information, it or her, direct information in terms of the call with the president of Ukraine. Let's start with a little summary about what happened with the second whistleblower. Watch this, please.
President Trump has repeatedly disparaged the impeachment inquiry. He maintains that he did nothing wrong and claims his actions had nothing to do with politics. But a second intelligence official was reportedly alarmed by President Trump's dealings with Ukraine. The New York Times, citing two people briefed on the matter, says the official is weighing whether to file his own formal whistleblower complaint and testify to Congress. According to the Times, the second official is among those interviewed by the Intelligence Community Inspector General to corroborate the allegations of the original whistleblower. We reached out to the White House for comment on that, but so far we have not heard back. White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham previously criticized the request as wasted time and taxpayer dollars that will ultimately show the president did nothing wrong. She then went on to say, quote, "The Dems can continue with their kangaroo court. The president will continue to work on behalf of this country." All of this, as Bloomberg News reports, President Trump has ordered substantial staff cuts to his National Security Council. Bloomberg News says 2 of their 5 sources claim the decision to shrink NSC is largely related to efficiency and leadership change. But it is worth noting the whistleblower complaint mentions the National Security Council, and there are reports that the whistleblower was detailed to NSC for some time.
Minutes, or I'm going to go. All right, we see we're arguing here at the table about this whistleblower. Joe, I'm curious. You're back from your perspective and your ties with the Republican National Committee. What do you think about this announcement of the second whistleblower?
I think it's an interesting play. They couldn't resolve it when Trump released the transcript because nothing occurred in the transcript. So the second whistleblower is talking about their firsthand or secondhand knowledge of discussions that were going on well before Trump's call and implying the intent based upon those discussions. My question to everybody here is, at what point in making decisions do you not go and look for ideas, right? And go all over the board, right, with ideas in order to form the best opinion and the best way forward.
Because it's unconstitutional.
No, wait a minute. Wait. You're saying unconstitutional to talk to the Ukraine about what happened in the 2016 election. That's where his conversation was focused.
To ask a foreign leader to investigate a political opponent is unconstitutional.
So in that conversation, Trump's conversation was about the 2016 election and what Ukraine knew or did not know about what took place, including CrowdStrike. The first mention of Joe Biden came from the president of the Ukraine. It was the president of the Ukraine that brought up his investigation into what took place in Joe Biden. That was principally because the president of the Ukraine ran on corruption
All
and
due respect, I
anti-corruption
think
platform.
that is factually incorrect. But I want to move on. Other
that's
comments
factually
that we
correct.
have about the second.
Read the
First of all,
transcript.
last week and this week, the transcript was brought up, and did you guys read? Yes, we read the transcript, and the transcript damned the president. The transcript showed exactly and backed up exactly what the first whistleblower said. Now, the second whistleblower came out. It has come out with more direct evidence backing up the first whistleblower, which, by the way, the director of national intelligence said that he also believes the first whistleblower has credibility. The IG said he also believes the first whistleblower has credibility. And White House officials said the call was, quote unquote, crazy and frightening. And officials then scrambled to contain what they knew was damaging. They knew that this conversation was problematic. That's why they tried to hide it. You don't try to hide anything that you know you're innocent from.
Nobody
Period,
tried
point
to
blank.
hide anything.
Yes, they
Trump
most certainly
released
did.
the transcript. That was a transcript of the call.
After the whistleblower. Let's not look at what Trump did after he was forced to release it. But had it not been for the fact that this news story leaked, we would have never seen the light of day.
If you want to
because
take
they
that
did
play,
everything that they
then I want
could.
to release the discussion that President Obama had with Russia. I want to release every
Joe,
conversation.
You don't have to worry about that because
I wanna zero in on-
when the Republican
slope.
when
If
the
the
Republican
president cannot
who here
conduct
remember listen
foreign affairs.
who here remembers during the Benghazi investigations when Obama blocked access to documents and refused to let Hillary testify? Anybody? Oh no, because that didn't happen because Obama released everything and let Hillary sit there for 11 hours. So Obama had no trouble being transparent because he knew he had nothing to hide.
That's true because Hillary
Trump,
lied
on the other
about
hand,
the Benghazi.
and she got away with it. If she lied, she got away with it. Let's hope Trump had
a phrase that I really am enjoying learning about this summer is the phrase called gaslighting. And gaslighting is a strategy in politics to misdirect the communication. And it seems like, no disrespect to Joe, but I'm just pointing out what I'm watching in the major cable channels. We're talking about him going, I won't talk about the delivery of the missiles unless you do me the favor, though.
No.
And
No,
then
that
we
was not part of the
changed-
conversation.
Okay, but all right. Well,
That's not part of the
Let's
conversation.
at least keep
In the
it on the
transcript.
table. And instead of focusing on the conversation, we're going to talk about Hillary Clinton 4 years ago.
It's called whataboutism.
No.
What about it?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Hillary ain't
no.
even the president.
Yeah.
You that is wrong.
Why?
Because Power said we want that conversation. Why do you get that conversation? The president has the legal responsibility to conduct foreign affairs for the United States.
Yes.
If you decide
On behalf of the United States,
if
right?
you decide you want every conversation that he's had with a foreign leader, then I want the
threatens
same.
to withhold aid that is approved by Congress unless Ukraine responds to his political request, which is every political scholar, every constitutional scholar in America has come out and said, if this is true, that is unconstitutional. Now,
but the problem
whether
is
he
you say,
gaslights,
wait,
let me finish my thought.
No.
Joe,
Because you
can I
said
please
if
finish my
you
thought?
said if
Would
this
you
is
please
true.
allow me to finish my thought and not gaslight me?
I'm not
The
I'm trying to get you to speak the
observation
truth.
is, therefore, this is unconstitutional. He will be impeached in Congress. There's no doubt of it. The only question is, will 67, including a reasonable number of Republicans, vote to remove him? No, they will not.
No.
But that's not the argument at this table. The argument of the table is, was it constitutional?
But
it was not.
The fact is, you started with the premise of if, which you cannot get from truth from falsehood. Your if premise is not true.
Why not?
Because he did not bargain for aid for discovery on Biden.
Why not?
That's not in the. That's
Why
not in the
not?
transcript.
Why didn't he?
That's what the
it
transcript
is
was
the
that I saw.
transcript says it.
That is
That's the
not.
transcript I
That
saw.
is
All
not
right.
what is
Literally like arguing
Hello?
over reality. This
We're-
is not water.
We are going to exactly, and that's my only point.
Kool-Aid.
That's
Joe,
my
I
frustration
respect
with
the
the left.
opinion, right?
Is-
Okay,
is
and
you're not reading it word for word and taking this.
we have an
You're
obligation. It
implying-
is happening
No.
now to illuminate.
Though,
And-
word for word,
Right.
though.
And it is not a Republican or a Democratic problem.
Correct. It's
It is
factual.
an American problem that we are only believing what we want to believe. Now, I'm willing to go along with the conversation, but I can't even have the conversation if I'm not, no offense to you, but if you can't even discuss, he talked about this, and this becomes a constitutional issue. You can't even get to that conversation because we're so
that's not
absolutist.
true.
Okay, all right, you're clear.
wait,
You've
before-
repeated
before-
it 5 times. I'm moving on.
I have one thing to say. I really have to. Do you remember the conversation that we had a few months ago where we discussed the Virginia governor and the lieutenant governor?
Oh, yeah.
And
Remember that?
They're still around.
Okay, and remember how you turned to me and Aaron, and when me and Aaron actually scalped the lieutenant governor and the governor for their behavior. You turned to us and you were like, "Oh, I can't believe that you guys took that position." Of course we took that position. Why? Because we believe in principle over party. When it's right, it's right. When it's wrong, it's wrong.
Yeah.
Right now, the Republican Party is really the party of the Republic cowards. If you do not believe that Trump has done anything wrong, you're either rich, you're either racist, you're either morally corrupt, or you're either willfully ignorant.
The
I'm
Mitt
sorry,
Romney
period, point.
effect.
Okay, and
It
that
is
is
the Mitt
that is
Romney
exactly
effect.
what you see from the left. If you don't agree, then you're all of these things.
Mitt
That's what you just
Romney
said.
is saying the
That's-
exact same thing that
Mitt
I
Romney's
have
an
said.
idiot.
And then he becomes an idiot. So Al is an idiot.
No.
It is a false equivalency.
Ah, there we go.
It is but it is, there you go. Because once you
No.
get to that logical conclusion, Al is an idiot.
No,
Al is not an
That's
idiot.
not what I said. I did call
Mitt
Romney
is an idiot.
because-
He's making the exact same argument I'm making.
And his argument is false because you cannot get truth from falsehood, and you're starting with a false premise.
Okay. No, we're
that is
starting with
not
the
what
true
is
premise.
said.
Okay, I'm
That's
going to
not
move
what's in
on.
the
All right, I'm
transcript.
going to leave Joe's soundbite at the table. That's
fine.
the end. Headline number 2 that we want to talk about. Oh, wait. One last thing I do want to say. I want to make sure that this is clear. The most recent polls in the last 40 hours have reported that the number of Americans that are in favor of impeachment is 58%.
Yeah.
The number of people that believe that President Trump should be removed from impeachment, somehow implying that they're a U.S. senator because they are the only ones that get to make that decision, has now moved to 51% of Americans. Both of those numbers have increased 10% in the last 30 days. Most significantly of all, in the Republicans, the 10% figure has also happened in the last 30 days. It has moved from 9% to 21% now of Republicans.
No, correction. 28% of Republicans now believe that Trump should be impeached. That's up 21 points.
Okay, all right.
Back to discussing polls.
I know that.
And before I move on, I want to make sure, because Joe has
I
told me
really
clearly,
like
and I've
polls.
heard him, I smile when I report on polls because I think of Joe going, polls are wrong.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I've
That's
heard
true.
you loud and
Polls
clear.
lie.
Yeah,
That's
polls
true.
lie. Okay.
I will agree with that.
All right.
I do.
All right, let's
is
move on.
that fact? Now, that's a
Let's
different
move on.
topic.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Joe, we're really glad you're back and it's happening out. Honestly, we are. Headline number 2. Bernie Sanders has been confirmed. He had a heart attack. It brings his age and health to the race of the presidency, and thank goodness, he's okay. He's recuperating in Vermont. He is going to be in the next presidential debate, but not tomorrow's LGBT town hall. The bottom line question here is, does this end the race for President 2020 for Bernie Sanders? What do y'all think?
I don't
Yes.
see how it could not end the race for him. I think that was already a way that people targeted him, especially the current, feels like reigning president, Trump, who was making fun of his age, amongst other things. Hillary, when she had the helmet on for a moment. This is going to be a source of attack for him for sure.
But here's an idea. What if Bernie Sanders steps out of the race and becomes a campaign manager for any of the rest of the candidates who are on board?
He's too proud for that.
I don't know,
You
but
think?
that would be super powerful.
Like
I
or
don't
vice
think-
president.
I don't
even.
think it ends the race for Bernie. I do think that it does significantly impact his chances. Bernie Sanders supporters are going to be ride or die for him no matter what, but the rest of the nation is going to look at him differently because of this. I will say a little update to this. Bernie Sanders said he is cutting back on his campaign schedule, but the fact that he was actually on the campaign trail more than a lot of his opponents. So cutting back on his campaign schedule for Bernie is still a heavy load for every other campaigner.
How do you want to spin that?
I don't want to spin it. I do think Bernie Sanders will be the kingmaker at the Democratic convention.
Yeah, I
because
do
as
too.
you said,
That's a
his
great
followers will go
observation.
with him.
Yeah.
And he will be the kingmaker
Yeah.
at the Democratic
And his
convention.
endorsement is going to be valuable.
Use
wanna-
your power.
I want to,
people.
at this moment, and I'm doing this frequently, all I want is a name. Please don't say anything else but a name. This issue of what we watched this week with Bernie Sanders, who's going to be, who do you want, not who is it going to be, who do you want to be the Democratic nominee? The name is?
I would like the Democratic nominee
Only one. I'm only going to ask you one.
to be Elizabeth Warren.
You've changed from Joe Biden to Elizabeth Warren. Interesting. We'll get back to, not in tonight's show, but we'll get back to that. Who do you want to be the nominee now?
Buttigieg.
Mayor Pete. Who do you want to be the nominee now?
Team Warren.
Elizabeth Warren. Who, for a different reason, do you want to be the Democratic nominee?
I think their best bet would be Amy Klobuchar.
Seriously?
And the collective, too.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's move to headline number 4.
Setup.
And that is the LGBT National Presidential Forum. The LGBT Forum is tomorrow night. We showed you at the top of the show. It's going to be broadcast by CNN. We're going to broadcast it at It's Happening Out Live. We are going to, the hosts here are going to be involved in the show. We hope you tune in at 7 o'clock. I want to show you in terms of kind of a prop, along with CNN and the HRC. Here's the bingo cards that are going to be distributed. And when you hear different kinds of sound bites, and we're showing you a slide of it right now, different bingo cards, you're going to play, and it's going to be the HRC LGBTQ plus bingo tomorrow night. And I thought that that was kind of cute and kind of clever. You can see here, this is a big deal. We are very excited because remember, this is a town hall function where 9 of the top presidential candidates are coming together and only talking about one issue, which is not one issue because we have many issues, but they're talking about one issue. And that is the LGBTQ plus community.
It's all about us.
Any quick thoughts about your participation tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time?
Well, first, to remind everybody, this is the Human Rights Campaign. If you're thinking that this is a deja vu because we had a conversation before about a forum you might have missed, that was not this one. That happened before
Not
as well.
Hillary Rodham Clinton.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Thoughts about
I'm throwing cards at you, okay?
thoughts about the forum tomorrow night?
I am so excited to be a part of it. You know, in the past, I've worked with the HRC. For us to be able, it's a big honor for us to be able to help promote and continue to share the message of the Democratic candidates right now. We need to be watching, we need to be listening, and we need to be registered to vote.
Yeah.
Can I ask?
And I especially like the name, Power of Our Pride.
Power of our pride. One thing that I will tell everyone, I especially like what's going to happen tomorrow night because the gay community's got to unite. Is there a community? Is there a community? This is a way to start. So I congratulate the HRC for using their muscle to make it happen. I congratulate CNN for making the commitment to make this happen. We are a micro community of maybe about 10%, but they're dedicating 4 hours of their space to support the LGBT community. You can't ask for more than that. Let's move on to our final topic that we're going to talk about tonight, and that is first about Matthew Shepard. This is the 21st anniversary of Matthew Shepard's passing this weekend. We ask ourselves how much has changed since Matthew Shepard's death. I'm not even going to begin to presume that everybody even knows who Matthew Shepard, the Shepard Foundation, is for the gay community, especially if you're a millennial. But it leads us to 2 other observations that we want to make note of tonight. First, Matthew Shepard's anniversary of passing brings about in its support National Coming Out Day. It is an encouragement to everyone in America to come out, to follow the challenge that your number one obligation is to come out, and that is this Friday, October 11th. Along with that, this entire month is a celebration of October of Gay History Month. And that is our celebration of our entire gay national history. What are the big ramifications for you? Matthew Shepard, Coming Out Day, National Gay History Month. What does it mean?
I mean, first of all, it's once again a celebration of us. But I kind of feel like I've been celebrating gay pride and gay all year. I mean, from Stonewall in July.
DJ Diva's only been celebrating for a year.
By the way, I would like to let everybody know that I mentioned Gay History Month last week. And Al, I'll blame it all on Al. Al forgot to mention it last week, even though it's the second week of October now. It should have been mentioned last week.
It absolutely should have been. We should have done it last Wednesday.
Well, but that's part of the reason that that's the case is because this is a relatively new thing. So it's kind of exciting that we get to keep reminding people to talk about it to some extent. Did this exist when you were a child?
It did not, and
maybe not a fair standard.
And are you going to make a joke? Was there electric
No.
lights when I was a child? Blah,
I
blah,
legitimately
blah,
don't
blah.
even know what
The
that means.
millennials have
We
one
walked to
joke,
school,
only
you know?
one joke.
No, it's not a joke. It's a really cool thing that this is
I'm
a
gonna
new.
make an offer to It's Happening Out.
Silenced again.
Yes. A dear friend of mine, Rhonda White, thank you, Rhonda, was part of everything that took place with Matthew Shepard,
Mary
the
Chop.
family, the negotiations, the press, in setting up the Matthew Shepard Foundation. She will be here visiting me in November.
Oh, excellent.
And
Let's
if
try to
we
get her
want
on
to
the
do,
show.
if we want to do something about
Absolutely,
Matthew Shepard,
that would be wonderful.
she can give us a lot
And
of details
America,
of what took place.
if you were this age, by the way, Napoleon is 19 days away from a big birthday. I won't say which one. I won't out him in any way.
Celebrating.
I become a daddy.
4-0.
Or,
No, not
all right.
yet.
If I look
honey.
fucking this good at
Okay.
40, then
All
you
right.
can only
Before we pass on past this subject, a little update on Matthew Shepard, and we're talking about how things have changed since his death.
Okay.
His family was not even; they didn't even feel secure to bury his body. All these years, they have been afraid that his body would be desecrated. His family just laid him to rest at the National Cathedral last Friday.
Oh my goodness, I didn't know that. In Washington?
In Washington, because his parents had his ashes all this time. They were afraid to lay him to rest because they were afraid that his ashes would be desecrated. So,
My goodness.
yeah.
Boy, that
Thank
says
you.
so much about their feelings about what still goes on in
Yes.
America. Tremendous. We want to move out of the note. And by the way, Powers Knock, we talked about this at the host meeting. I take responsibility for not making the announcement of October being National Gay History Month. We should have done it last Wednesday. I take the responsibility of that because I'm a bigger man than Power Infinity. So
How we turn that around.
Thank you. The final thing that we're going to do tonight is play a game. Look, we've talked about a lot of interesting subjects tonight, so let's do something fun. And that is Shag, Marry, Chop. Everybody knows how we play this. You've played it in your living room. We're going to show you pictures. Don't push me too fast in terms of showing the pictures, but we're going to play a game, and each host is going to pick who they would shag, who they would marry, and who they would chop. And we always make the joke, we had to change the word shag and chop because Power gets the Secret Service at his door if we don't do it.
That's actually not a joke.
It's not a joke, right. All right. So in honor of the greatest October movie opening in history, who was the hottest Joker? And here we go. It is Jared Leto, Heath Ledger, or Cameron Monaghan.
So I guess you got that Gotham spoiler right there.
And we excluded Joaquin Phoenix only because it's too close. It's too easy to select Joaquin. Give him a little time and we'll see. So, Jared or Heath or Cameron, somebody play Shag, Marry, Chop.
Oh, this is so easy for me. I'm going to shag Heath Ledger. I'm going to dig him up from the grave and shag him.
Necrophilia at its finest. We discuss everything here on It's
Oh, wait.
Happening Out.
I thought you said you're always great at sex, and if it's not, it's the partner's fault.
Trust me, he'll enjoy it.
How does
if he's waking him from the dead, you know.
Oh, my goodness.
He's worth it. I'm going to definitely marry Jared Leto and be all on the red carpet with him, be right by his side at every movie premiere. Trust, I'm going to marry him. And what's the child's
Cameron
name?
Monaghan.
Cameron, okay.
What's the child's name?
He gets
the
a
chop. All right. Who else is playing?
I'm playing, and I will definitely shag Cameron Monaghan. I was not that interested before, but if we're all watching the same little clip with his little Rocky shorts, with that really quick undulation, Jesus, is it speeding up? So he's going to be my shag. Distracted
You
again.
evidently didn't
Jared
watch
Leto.
Shameless.
Jared Leto. He's my Mary because he's just adorable, and also his Joker is the most fun. He's the one that I'd want to marry. I would chop Heath Ledger. That seems kind of redundant now to say that.
All right. And
Too
Josie or
soon.
Joe, who are you playing?
Okay, I am shagging. I'm following in Power's fashion here. I am shagging Heath because he's hot. I'm going to marry Jared because he's weird and cool at the same time and an A-lister.
You just fancied yourself Claire Danes.
And Cameron, as much as I love watching you, and you're a great actor, I don't think you and I would vibe. I mean, like sexually.
Yeah. And Joe? Who are you choosing?
Oh, well, I'm definitely gonna shag Jared Leto. He looks hot. I am gonna marry Cameron because I want that every night and every day.
Yeah, I guess he's young.
Redheaded wonder.
And yes, I do love my red. And Heath, you're past. Otherwise, you would be the top of my list. But
You know, I say this, and generally I don't play Shag, Marry, Chop, but I want to say something specific that washes over me as I watch this.
Oh.
Cameron is the Shag. My goodness, the boy is beautiful. The Chop is Jared. But my Mary is Heath Ledger, and I want to tell you why. He was brilliant, and the Academy Award for his role as the Joker was well worthwhile.
Oh, yeah.
I just come back to what a brilliant, brilliant performance he had. And as I look at him, I have a tug at my heart when we lose young men and women, but when we lose young men so young, and you think about what they would have accomplished. I'm thinking about him as the Joker, but really what propels me in the Mary is his role in Brokeback Mountain.
That's right.
It breaks my heart
That's
as I
right.
look at that face and go, what he would have accomplished.
Brokeback Mountain, honey.
Man.
And with that is the fact that we need to be aware and we need to be thinking and talking to people so that we can be there for people like Heath Ledger so that they don't make those
exactly
bad
right.
decisions.
As I look at Heath Ledger, completely different, but I'm thinking about Eddie Sotomayor right now. When you're cut down so young, you think about what they would have done. And I look at Heath Ledger and think of that right now. All right, that is our show tonight, and that's Shag, Marry, Chop. We always finish our show because we get ready for some pizza. And of course, one of the best pizza places in delivery, especially in the country, is right here in the gayest place of planet Earth, and that's Jet's Pizza. And my new boyfriend, Thomas, you're my new boyfriend. Did you hear that?
Was that a dick swap kind of hello there?
There's a really good, now that's the pizza, but we got to close it because it interferes with the picture of me.
Let's leave it up.
In that case.
Close it quickly. There's a really good gay newspaper down here called the South Florida Gay News, and they're right now doing the best of South Florida. We love the newspaper. I read the South Florida Gay News religiously. I've heard rumor that the best new hot couple in South Florida is Al and Thomas. Did you know that?
What newspaper?
South Florida Gay News. You got to listen, Thomas. The South Florida Gay News.
What did Richard say about that?
I try to be accepting of all relationships, but that definitely made me feel a little disgusted when I just heard that, I've got to say.
I got to get some new hosts.
Somebody's sleeping on the couch
Right.
tonight.
All right, Thomas is in. So next week, I guess it's you two that are getting married on Hialeah Pride, huh?
All right.
So- Next year, everybody.
Wait.
Tune in for 2020. Trump will re-win, and we're going to have
This went
everything
way out of
topsy-turvy.
control. I just tried to make some fun and play with Thomas. We'll play later, by the way. Now we're getting married.
Later.
Exactly. You had a good last week?
I did.
Yeah. And what are you planning to do this weekend?
Honestly, I might try and hit the beach.
Hit the beach. All right. Can I recommend to you, Thomas?
Oliver.
Next Wednesday,
That's
try
the
to
nude
show up
beach, right?
early. Napoleon and I are doing a new show called Happening.Fun, and we're going to tell you some of the funnest things that you can do. Yeah! Pay attention to that
Weird
and
sound.
watch that next week.
Like go to Hollover.
Always looking for new stuff.
Hollover. Have you ever been to Hollover?
No, actually, I haven't.
Do you know what Hollover is?
No.
It's a new
Hollover
beach.
is a nude beach down here. You can go completely naked.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, Oliver. It's about 20 minutes from here. All right.
Definitely.
Well,
So come to South Florida, everybody.
Best
Serious
delivery guy
business.
in South Florida. Ask for him if you're here in South Florida and order Jet's Pizza. It's really, really, really good. Good seeing you again, Thomas. That's our show tonight. We hope you've had a good time. We big things going on in the world. Tune in tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, as the big LGBTQ plus town hall will take place in Los Angeles. It's Happening Out's going to be involved in helping propel it. you're going to be able to watch. It's going to be a great experience, and we're going to find the right Democratic candidate to defeat you know who. He who shall not be named.
Yeah.
We always close
Keep
our show.
American great, baby. Keep American great.
We always close the show by giving our host the opportunity to say goodnight. And tonight is no different. And we're going to start with our triumphant return of our log cabin Republican and my friend, Joe Brookman.
I'm going to say shout out to my family, but especially to my baby girl on your birthday yesterday. Love you, sweetie.
Very nice. And to my friend, Napoleon Plays, and my new cohort on our TV show, Happening.fun.
And I've got to say, now that you have a new boyfriend, I'm very thankful I can finally let my guard down. So I'm a little bit more comfortable right here. And to all of you out oh, God.
Welcome back, Joe. Welcome back.
And to all you jokers out there, thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed that movie. And don't let the government scare you from experiencing life and what's happening here on It's Happening Out.
And my friend, Chef Josie.
All right, good night to all my fierce and bold people out there. You just keep on being courageous, take risks. You have one life to live, so why not live proud?
And to my friend, Power Infinity.
Good night, children. Remember, our voice is our power, so keep tuning in and live out loud.
This is perilous times for the LGBTQ plus community. The Supreme Court is going to make lots of decisions that are going to affect you. 9 presidential candidates tomorrow night are going to make lots of decisions that are going to affect you. We at It's Happening Out are trying to find out if gay culture exists and if gay community continues to exist that are affected by all of these issues in our world. If you agree with us, please share us. Let people know what we're talking about in our community. Because if it's important to you, it's happening out. Good night, America.
Good night.
Good night.